Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you the answer key for the assessment for simultaneous equations and polynomials. So let's start with number 1. So the question for number 1, we have letter A. We wanted to solve x minus y is equal to 2, and then x squared minus 2y squared is equal to 4. Okay, so here, we could see that we use the x minus y equals 2 and then change that into y equals x minus 2. After finding y, we substituted the value x minus 2 to the y here, and this became x squared minus 2 times x minus 2 squared equals 4. And from that, you just expand x minus 2 squared. That's x squared minus 4x plus 4. Then you continue simplifying it. So this will become x squared minus 2x squared plus 8x minus 8 equals 4. So just make sure that you distribute the negative 2, or when you distribute the minus 2 to x squared minus 4x plus 4, make sure that the signs are correct. So x squared and negative 2 becomes negative 2x squared. Negative 4x is now positive 8x, and 4 is now minus 8 equals. Then you have the other side equals 4. Then again, you continue simplifying the equation. X squared minus 2x squared will become negative x squared. 8x is the same as 8x, then minus 8. When we subtract 4 on both sides, the negative 8 becomes, we have minus 4 on the left side, and then the other side becomes 0, because 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. And then, so just continue solving it. So you will have, so from here, we have negative x squared plus 8x minus 12, 12 coming from negative 8 and negative 4. And then if we want to factor this easily, we want to make the negative x squared positive, so we can multiply both sides by negative 1, so it becomes x squared minus 8x plus 12 equal to 0. Then you have x minus 6 and x minus 2 as the factors equal to 0. So this means x is equal to, or x minus 6 is equal to 0, and x minus 2 is equal to 0, which eventually will give us x equals 6 or x equals 2. After finding the values for x, you can now find the value of y, keeping in mind that y is equal to x minus 2. So when x is equal to 6, we replace x by 6, and that means 6 minus 2, so 6 minus 2 is equal to 4. When x is equal to 2, so y is equal to 2 minus 2, and this is equal to 0. So you can write the solution in this way. So you have the 0.64 and 20. It means x is equal to 6 and y is equal to 4, and then x is equal to 2 and y equal to 0. Okay, so that's how you solve number 1. Now let's move to 1b. So in 1b, you're given another equation, or simultaneous equations, in which x is equal to 4 minus y, and the other equation is 2y squared minus x squared is equal to negative 23. So since x is already set as 4 minus y, we just change this x by 4 minus y. So we have, so from here, 2y squared minus x squared, so x squared becomes 4 minus y squared. And then just simplify that, so you get 16 minus 8y plus y squared, then equals same, negative 23. Then when you remove the parentheses, make sure that the signs are correct. So minus 16, then minus 8y becomes positive 8y, and minus plus y squared is now minus y squared. And then same, negative 23 is on the right side of the equation. And then you continue. So just solve, simplify. So we have y squared now plus 8y minus 16. If we add 23 on both sides, so the goal is to make this equal to 0. So add 23, so this becomes 0. Then you have plus 23 on the other side. And then, so this will be y squared, because this is just y squared. We have 8y, still 8y. 16, or negative 16 and 23 become 7, and then equal to 0. So from here, you can already factor this, so make sure you know how to factor a quadratic expression. So y squared will get y and y, and 7 will get 1 and 7. So we choose 1 and 7 because we need an 8y in the middle, and that means 1y and then 7y will give us 8y. Okay? So this is equal to 0, and from here, since y plus 1 and y plus 7 are the factors, so that means y is equal to negative 1 or y is equal to negative 7. So we can now conclude, or if we want, we still have to find for the value of x. So finding x, you just go back to the value or to the equation of x, which is 4 minus y. So using each y that we got here, so y is equal to negative 1, so y is equal to negative 1. So this becomes 4 minus negative 1, and 4 minus negative 1 is 4 plus 1, which is equal to 5. So when x is 5, that means when y is negative 1, the x is equal to 5. So x is written first before the y. Doing the same thing for y equals negative 7. So if x is equal to 4 minus y, we have 4 minus negative 7, or 4 plus 7 equals 11. So that means when y is negative 7, x is equal to 11. So 11 negative 7 is a solution. Okay, so we can just conclude that the solutions for the simultaneous equations given in 1b are 5, negative 1, and 11, negative 7. So now we move on to number 2. So this should be easier in terms of like number of steps, because all you have to do is to distribute this polynomial to x plus 3. So you can do that one by one, so everything to x, and then the next one to the 3. So when we do that, so x cubed to x is x to the 4, and then x squared times x is x cubed, then negative 2x times x is negative 2x squared, and 1 times x is x. And then you do the same for 3, so just distribute every term here to the 3 and you should get this. Okay, so this is a special technique in when we multiply expressions. So I already aligned the similar terms so that I can just add them or combine them after distributing the expression. Okay, so you have x to the 4 as x to the 4, 1x cubed or x cubed, plus 3x cubed is 4x cubed, negative 2x squared, and then 3x squared will become x squared, ax, and minus 6x will become negative 5x, and then plus 3. So it's not really difficult to do. Okay, and then we move on to b. The b is about division. So you can have two ways. One way is using the long division, and the other one is through the synthetic division. So let's start with the long division. So just apply the method of long division. Just make sure that you subtract properly when you get the values. Okay, so I will not be discussing the step-by-step on how to proceed with the division. You can just refer to the solution presented here. The same thing for, by the way, when you write your answer, it should be the quotient. So this is the quotient. This is the quotient, and this is the remainder. This is one way of writing the remainder. If I'm adding the remainder to the expression, it should be the remainder that you got here divided by x minus 2. Some people will just write it as r dot negative 34, which means the remainder is negative 34. Okay, so for the synthetic division, so we have of course the same expression. So we get the coefficients of the polynomials. We get 1, negative 4, negative 10, and then negative 6. And then since x minus 2 is a divisor, we use the number which is positive 2. Okay, and not negative 2, it's positive 2. So first step in synthetic division, you bring down 1, you multiply, you get this number, you add, you get this number, then you repeat that procedure until you get the remainder negative 34. So here you could see already the quotient, that's 1x squared minus 2x minus 14, and the remainder is negative 34. Always keep in mind that the last number is the remainder, and the first three values here should be the coefficient of the quotient. So we have x squared minus 2x minus 14. So you can omit 1, you can just write it as x squared. Okay, so x squared minus 2x minus 14, remainder negative 34. Okay, so same thing, you can also use addition like here. So if I want to write it this way, it should be the remainder, negative 34, over the divisor x minus 2. Plus and minus can be minus, so that can be, this should be 1 minus 34 over x minus 2. Okay. So this is the solution for number 3. So we want to find the value of k for which x minus 1 is a factor of x cubed minus 2x squared minus kx plus 5. So the idea is just, okay, so if it's a factor, if you substitute 1 to every x, you get equal to 0. Okay, so perform or simplify the left side until you get negative k plus 4. And then if negative k plus 4 is 0, that means negative k is negative 4 and k is equal to 4. Okay, so moving on, so number 4, find the remainder of the expression at 9x cubed plus 6x squared minus 5x minus 23 when divided by x minus 3. So you just simply use the remainder theorem. The remainder theorem says that the remainder can be obtained if we substitute the number that makes the divisor 0. So x minus 3 is a divisor, and the number that will make this 0 is 3. So we place 3 on every x. If we do that, it will give you the remainder. So just simplify this until you get the number, and that number is the remainder. Okay, so moving on, you can use also method number 2 using synthetic division. So just place the coefficients properly. So you have 9, you have 6, you have negative 5, negative 23. So you're dividing by x minus 3. So the number to be used should be 3. So perform synthetic division, and the last number should be the remainder. Moving on to number 5, if you want to factorize x cubed plus 4x squared plus x minus 6 completely, so we try using the factors of 6. So this is your guide. So the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. And you use synthetic division. So your goal is to have the last number 0, because that will tell you that the number will determine a factor. So here I use 1, and then it turned out that it will end with 0. So if 1 will work, that means x minus 1 is a factor. Now I will not leave the solution without considering 1, 5, and 6. So this will be the coefficient of the other factor. 1 means x squared, 5 means 5x, and 6 is just 6. So factor this, you get x plus 3 and x plus 2, which are the other factors of the given expression. So in the end, just write the factors into the form x minus 1, x plus 3, and x plus 2. Okay, finally we move to number 6. So this is calculating the values of x that satisfies the given equation 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus x plus 2 equal to 0. So the procedure is very similar to factoring an expression, because factoring is actually part of the solution. So what you need to do is to factorize the left side. So again, perform the synthetic division. So make sure you carry all the coefficients properly. So you have 2, negative 5, 1, and 2. We tried 1 and we found that, or I found that this worked. So this means x minus 1 is a factor. Again, use the numbers you obtained here. That's 2, negative 3, and negative 2. That becomes 2x squared minus 3x minus 2. Factor this, we get 2x plus 1 and x minus 2. And that means the given equation, or the left side of the equation, is the same as x minus 1. That's the factor we got from the synthetic division. And then 2x plus 1 and x minus 2 are just expressions here. Now if this times this times this is equal to 0, that means the first x minus 1 is 0, 2x plus 1 is equal to 0, and x minus 2 is equal to 0. So finally, these equations will give us the solutions, which are x equals 1, x equals negative 1, and x equals 2. Okay, so that's it for the answer key of type 1, assessment number 4 on simultaneous equations and polynomials. So maybe you might find the video a bit fast, so just you can always pause the video when you watch it So, and then just, you can return to the solutions whenever you are, like, you find yourself confused with the explanation. Okay, but do you have all the solutions that you need here for the assessment? So I hope this will help you for the next one. Okay, that's it.